And I know men that they won't say it out loud, but behind closed doors, they'll tell you they won't meet with a woman behind closed doors anymore. If they meet with a woman, their door is open.
And I don't blame you. I wouldn't.
You stand to lose so much. Hey guys, we are back with another video. We are Meet the Simmons. I'm Marcus.
I'm Chantel.
All right, you want to give them their PSA?
Sure. Please like and subscribe. Ding!
All right. So today we want to discuss a topic that may be a little bit different from what we normally talk about. It's not going to be per se about marriage, but it does have implications in marriage. So I don't know when this came out. I think it was early this week or something like that. Roland Martin, who is a talking head for, like, he's a political analyst or whatever you want to call him. There was a rapper named Doja Cat. We're not really familiar with her or her music, but I heard the name before. She received some kind of award or something like that, and as she's going up on stage, you'll see that she kind of stumbled a little bit, and nobody was there to kind of help her up the stage, where usually a man would kind of help her. So we're going to show you the video real quick. It's real short, just and then we're going to break it down. So we'll be right back. All right, so as you can see in the video, that she has this dress on, it's long, and you know the chivalrous thing for a man to do is to help the lady up on the stage. That's something that you should do. But the discussion we want to have today is chivalry dead, and if it is dead, who killed it?
Oh,
yeah, we're gonna walk down that road. So, as a woman, when you saw the clip, what did you think? And before, he also had a comment up on it there. He was saying, "Wow, we need to teach our young men how to be more chivalrous." Was basically what he said under his comment. I think it was on Twitter or something like that.
Yeah.
But what do you think? What were your first thoughts when you saw the video?
I think it's not just my first thoughts when watching the video. I think my whole attitude in general is, as a feminine woman, I am a bit confused. I don't really know what the general consensus is anymore. I don't know and I'm a woman, a heterosexual feminine woman, so I don't really know what women want. I don't understand if we want to be independent or do we want to be treated a certain way. I don't know. I'm confused, and if I'm confused, I don't know how y'all feel as men. I don't know. And I know what I feel about chivalry, and that I personally appreciate it. But how do you feel? How do men feel? I don't know.
Well, I will say, as a masculine man who was all about that protection, being a man of honor and integrity, I'm confused, because I've had situations recently where I go to open a door for a woman, and she's like, "No, I got it," and I'm like, "Oh, okay." I was a few months ago. I was in the grocery store. Young lady there is probably 5'0". She obviously is struggling to get something on the top shelf. Obviously struggling. I'm over 6 feet tall. I say, "Hey, you need some help?" Or, "No, I got it. I'm fine." Okay, big scary black guy. I get it. Maybe I scared her, but I think there's something to that.
Yeah.
I think there's something to that. And there's also a situation it wasn't even that. It was probably maybe 6-7 months ago where there was a lady in the parking lot. She had 2 small children with her, 2 very small children, and she was wrangling the kids, and she was trying to get stuff in the car, and I offered to take her cart back for her because she had the kids. "No, I got it. I don't need any help." And I was like, "Okay, I get it. I'm a stranger."
Right.
But the problem is that there's a huge lack of trust between men and women now. There's a rift there. And so the question is, chivalry dead? Yeah, I think it's dead, and I think women killed it.
I see that point, and it ticks me off because we don't benefit from that at all. It's quite the opposite. I had a situation where I go to a chiropractor regularly, and I go to the chiropractor's office, and it's standing room only. And there are several guys sitting in the chairs, and none of them thought to offer me the seat. That would be the chivalrous thing to do, but on the flip side of that, because of the pushback and the rejection, and even, the doggone combative nature that women have now when it comes to certain things like that, I can understand why no one did, because if you say to me, hey, would you like to see? I don't need a seat. I'm good. I can stand up. Like,
yeah, and that's the attitude.
So you don't know.
Yeah.
I think because it's so inconsistent, it might be dead. I don't know. I just know that personally, I feel confused.
Now, I will say this on behalf of women, and a knock against men is that we can't just give up just because you hit a little opposition. I'm not going to stop being nice and kind and courteous to women just because I hit a little opposition. I'm not going to do that. But I'm not every man, and every man is not me, and every man wasn't raised the way I am. I know a lot of dudes is like, I'm not even going to do it. I got nothing to say to him. I'm not going to do anything, because here's the thing. The truth of the matter is this: you can stand and lose a lot, but you're trying to be a nice person.
Yeah.
You can stand and lose a lot. It doesn't. If you look in the media and you look at the news, it's just the accusation. The accusation alone could ruin your career. And I want to read a comment here that I read under Mr. Martin's. And by the way, Mr. Martin was right. I don't have any. That man's 53 years old. He grew up in a different time. He's 10 years older than me. He's born in 1968. So whole different time, very different time, and chivalry should be. He was raised to be a chivalrous man, so there's no knock against him. My mom loves Roland Martin. I couldn't say about Roland Martin anyway I wanted to, but I see what he's saying. But also, he's got to understand the climate in which we're living in now. It's different. It's different. So here's a comment, and I think this kind of brings it home. Let's see. This guy said they did right to not touch her. Given these days and times, it could have blew up in their faces. Not worth the risk. And that had 622 likes, laughs, and loves. So a lot of men feel like that. I know men, and I'm around men that are in high positions. I hold a somewhat high position on my job, and I know men that they won't say it out loud, but behind closed doors, they'll tell you they won't meet with a woman behind closed doors anymore. If they meet with a woman, their door is open.
And I don't blame you. I wouldn't.
You stand to lose so much. You stand to lose so much, and it's just the accusation. Now, what if one of those guys reaches to help her go upstairs, and he brushes her buttocks, or he brushes her breast for some reason, or he touches her when she didn't want to be touched? That's all it takes. That's all it takes. So.
And then you're straight up canceled.
Yeah. Now, and there'll be no court. You'll get tried in the court of public opinion. And so I get it. I get it, guys. I get it. And it's sad that we've got to this point. And I think that chivalry is there. And I think men had their part in it. Men that were not of good moral character had their part in it.
Yeah.
But that's not all men, though. That's not even most men. That's not even most men. There's a small percentile of men that operate that way. Most men, the men that I know, the men I'm around, the men that I've served with, the men that they are good men for the most part. Not perfect, flawed, but not bad men. And I think that this whole men bad narrative is what's driving this thing. Every woman thinks you're out to hurt them. Every woman thinks you're out to you want something from them. Like a young lady in the grocery store, I just want to help. I'm a married man. Didn't find her in the least bit attractive. I'm just trying to help. That's it. That's what we're here to do. We're here to help. We're here to serve and do those. And men gain enjoyment from that. But that's not the climate we live in anymore.
You remember this recently? We went to the movies as a family, and our oldest son held the door open. We were walking in. You were getting the tickets, and then I'm walking in between you and the kids. And our oldest son holds the door open for this family. And we make it over to the concessions, and the mom says to me, she says, "You guys raised a good boy because he held the door open for us, and that was so sweet." She said it like she was taken aback, and that shouldn't be an unusual experience. That should be something that's typical. But nowadays, it's not necessarily a usual occurrence, again, because everything is so inconsistent, everything is so sketch, everything is so hit or miss, that if chivalry isn't dead, it's on its way out.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just where we are right now as a society.
We also got to look at it from this thing this one word that we keep hearing. I got to do training on it. I hear it in the media. I hear it on social media. Equality. So, ladies, if you want equality, that's what it looks like. That's what equality looks like. You don't get any special treatment because you're a woman. You don't get to go off and slap a man and not expect to get slapped back. You don't get the CEO job without having to dig ditches also. That's what it looks like. So we've been pushing this equality narrative for years, starting like in the 90s, 80s, 90s, and we've been pushing that for years. But you cannot have traditional outcomes and modern woman outcomes. You can't have both at the same time.
Right.
So
it's one or the other.
That's something that's a discussion that we have to have amongst ourselves between men and women. How are we going to do this thing? Yes, we want women to have equal opportunity, but not equality of outcome.
Right.
You get the opportunity to interview for the job. You get the opportunity to do all the things that you want to do, the job, serve in the military, all those things, but you don't get equality of outcome. Because equality of outcome is based on merit.
Then I'm digging ditches and I don't want to do that.
Well, it's based on merit. It's based on merit. Yeah. It's based on social. It's based on what you have, your credentials. It's based on all of that. So you want equality of outcome, then that's just unfair. But you should have equality of opportunity. I believe that. As a black man, I believe you get equality of opportunity. I want to interview for the job. I want to have the same rights, all those things. But you can't. It's almost impossible to ensure equality of outcome because it's too variable. It's too variable.
It's apples and oranges.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. If I'm sitting there and I gotta hire someone, let's say the job is to dig a ditch. Let's say that I gotta hire someone. And I walk in the door, and then a 5'4", 120-pound woman walks in the door. And do I hire her just because she's a woman? Because she wants equality of outcome? No. It's based on merit. It's based on merit. Maybe I've been digging ditch for 10 years. She's never dug a ditch before. So we have to really look at this thing. We gotta look at it. What are we really asking for? Because it's very confusing. It's very confusing to all parties involved.
It is confusing.
And I think that the question that most men would want to ask, and I'm going to ask it for them, ladies, what do you want? We want to give you what you want. That's the secret about men. We want, especially our wives and our daughters and the women we love, we want to give you what you want, but you're sending a lot of mixed messaging.
And that's the problem. If you sit down and have a conversation with a modern day woman, she is very confused and the messaging is very mixed. So I think we need to take a long, hard look at ourselves as women and really sit down and try to figure out what is it that we're really asking for. Are we Miss Independent, or are we going to be the traditional role, or what do we want? That's my question. And again, as a feminine woman, I appreciate chivalry. I think it's an honorable thing. I'm not a delicate flower that can't be touched, or I'm so delicate that I can break easily. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is I appreciate being appreciated.
Yeah.
I appreciate being valued. I appreciate you being the type of person that you value my femininity. And with that being said, I don't have any issues with men doing kind things, because on the flip side, I enjoy doing kind things for my husband and for humanity, for men, for women, for everyone. Yeah. I think acts of kindness, random acts of kindness, I think we could use more of that in our world today. I think we live in a very selfish time, and doggone it, being nice to people, it's just a nice thing to do. Why not? Why not? Why not change it?
And as a man, I don't have a problem doing those things. I don't have a problem standing up for a woman that I don't know that's being harassed or being abused. I would do that in a heartbeat because that's what I'm here for. But what I don't want is I don't want to be looked at as some kind of predator just because I'm trying to help. And if you don't want my help, that's fine. You ain't hurting my feelings. But I'm confused. There have been moments where I didn't step in, or I saw somebody that needed a young lady that needed help, and I didn't. And I get the intent of what he was trying to say.
Yeah,
but he doesn't understand what's boots on the ground going on out here between men and women. There's not a lot of trust between men and women.
So final two questions, as my husband just mentioned. Number one, ladies, what do you want? And fellas, what are you willing to do?
Yep. And with that, that's enough said.